Joining us this morning to chat about that from ESPN, it is Rob Ninkovich. Rob, good morning.
Oh, hello, my friends. How are you this lovely morning?
How are you? Does this surprise you?
I'm great. On my birthday.
Oh,
Why not?
Happy
On the
birthday.
show.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Wiggy. Enjoy it. Yeah, no, it's not surprising. The dude's 40, almost 46 years old. Like, of course, like, he had a great career. I wasn't shocked last year when he retired. So for him to retire, especially after this year and the stuff that he went through, yeah, it's not surprising at all that he walked away.
And you've made yourself a fine career in broadcasting. You think that's where he goes next?
Yeah, $375 million. Yeah, that's not bad, right? To go talk about football, it's not a bad deal. I'll take that.
See, I'm a little disappointed, Nick, because I feel like he still could play at a high level, and I felt like by him being a free agent, there was plenty of landing spots that he could have went to and had an opportunity to win his 8th Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Wiggy, think about this, man. Like, his whole career, like, I could not imagine everywhere you go, you walk in the building, everyone's looking at you like you are going to take us to the promised land. You are the guy that's going to be, everything about this franchise we want it to be. It's in your hands. And, for me, I'm not even close to what Tom Brady was. And I felt that here every single day. The expectations are high. Your consistency to be as good as Tom has been for so many years. The mental task that is we know the physical aspect of football is tough, and then trying to keep your body at a great level to play at a high level, that's hard. But the mental side of it, to know I'm here to help this organization win a Super Bowl, and every single year, if you don't do that, it's a failed year. It starts to become like this, just the weight on you. I mean, I couldn't imagine, what that feels like, especially for Tom, because when he walks in the room, everyone's looking at him like, you're going to take us here, right? Like, you're going to be the guy to do it, right? So it's just, I'm happy for him. Move on to the next phase of life. You've made a ton of money. You've won more Super Bowls than anyone else. You won more games. You have all the records and everything. You're on your own 2 feet. You can still throw the ball 60 yards. Great. Now go do something else. Enjoy life.
I'm sure hard to pick, but is there, during the time that you played with him, is there a particular moment that stands out? Is that you can say is your favorite?
I would say that Tom is one of the most humble and fiercest competitors I've ever been around. And humble in a sense of, every time you see him, hey babe, how you doing? Great. And I remember back to 2009, I think back to when I was just running down on kickoff, there was a time I was on the team probably a week, and he was walking through the hallway and I was walking past him, and in my head, I'm like, Tom Brady. And, I was fresh to the team. I was a young kid, and Tom is already very established. And, he walked by, he said, hey, Rob. And I was like, oh, man, like, that's crazy. How does he know who I am? So that's just Tom, though, because he knows his teammates. And, another thing that just to show his competitiveness, I can't remember the exact game, but I think maybe it was in Miami. We're flying home, and, what the guys do on the plane, you hang out, you have a good time, you maybe play some cards. And, we were playing a card game, and Tom was in the card game, and the pot had built, and it was building, and a lot of the money was Tom's. So I think it was at like $1,200 or whatever it was. And I called, and I was able to get the pot. I got the money. It was $1,200. And then I quit. I'm like, nope, I'm done. And he got mad. He looked at me. He's like, you're not done. I said, yeah, this is like, I got $1,200 of Tom Brady's money. I'm done. I'm walking away. And I could see the fire in his eye. He wanted to win back that money so bad. And he was so mad that I just walked away and just didn't want to, I was like, nope, I know I'm going to lose this back to you because you have infinite amount of funds to make sure that you get this back. Me, on the other hand, I just know I'm going to fill up my tank with Tom Brady's money. I was excited. So that's just like a little, and then also there's moments where guys, you get on the plane, it's after a game, you're excited, you just won, you got a long ride home, you're having fun, and you go past Tom and he'd be, already on to the next team. in his computer, like looking at the next team, like writing down in his notebook, like getting ready, getting prepared. And that's like the thing that the little things that made him so great. And then also a good teammate. And, you realize like, okay, to be at this level, you got to make a choice and you got to make sure that you prepare and you put yourself in a good position to win. Like that's everything and reflects in Tom Brady. And, just again, his family, his mom and dad, he's got like such nice parents. And, every time I see his mom and dad, they're always so nice. And that's Tom. Like he is that. It's just you are a product of your environment and how you were raised. So that's exactly why, I was always super grateful for the time I had with him. He's an awesome teammate.
Rob, while everyone's waiting to see his future in the booth, what do you think about the ownership part of it? He's been meeting a lot with people in Miami. That's been going on for a bit. Do you think that is in the near future, that he could have some type of ownership for the Dolphins?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably something that he would like to get into as far as staying involved in the game. It's something when you're a kid and you're playing this game, you fall in love with it. You don't know it's going to take you to these heights. When you're 10 years old, 12 years old, you put on a helmet and shoulder pads. You're not thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to play in the NFL and win this many Super Bowls, but it's ingrained. It's just part of your makeup. So for him, I would assume that you can't just walk away, leave the game, and then just not have anything to do with it. So if that was the case, these teams are $6 billion now. It's insane how much they cost. So, I mean, I don't know what percentage or whatever he would be involved in something, but I'm sure if a team was interested in him, helping with decision making or evaluating talent or, just being involved in any way, shape, or form, you would want Tom Brady to be involved. So I'm sure this isn't the last that we've seen of Tom Brady in football. Obviously, he's going into the booth next, but you never know. Sky's the limit for him.
Did you send him a text this morning, or are you going to wait a while on that?
Oh, you're bringing this up, Greg Hill? First of all, that whole thing, and you know what? Ninko punked himself. Listen, I text Tom Brady. We were going back. It's like two guys do. You have fun. You mess around with each other. You maybe, give them a little backhanded comment, and then you say, ha, 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 just kidding. Love you, buddy. Like, that's just what we do as men, okay? So I get it. New York Post and all these people want to take it and run with it and then quote, his podcast, Let's Go podcast, the great question. That's all. Come on. Like, we know. Tom, just give me a break. But anyway, yeah, okay.
You were done. You were done dirty.
I did hit him up. All I said, I hit him up. I just said, hey, best of luck in the future. You're going to do great, yada, yada, yada. No big deal. No headline news here, okay? Just being a good old teammate, that's all.
Yeah, well, it's honestly, I can't think of an athlete upon their retirement that has had a bigger effect on this city. I mean, who? Larry Bird?
No.
I mean,
no. This is
not even close.
And the thing about Tom's career is that the further you get away from it, it will become Ruthian, because players aren't going to win 4, 5, 6 Super Bowls. Going to 10. He was more likely to reach a conference championship game in his career than he was to complete a pass. He made 70% of his healthy seasons reach the Final Four of his sport. And just one thing, Ninko, before we let you go. Being part of Super Bowl 51, I watched 80 for Brady last night. Probably is going to win Best Picture. Just what it meant on defense to know that if you got a stop in the fourth quarter, you were going to win that game. What having Brady in your sort of back pocket made for the sort of ability of that team to come back from 25 points.
I mean, I think that as a defender, I literally my whole career as a starter, I was on terrible teams before I got to New England, and that confidence, knowing that all we have to do is get the ball, get it back to Tom, and that's the mentality that you had, because there was plenty of years we might have let up a lot of yards, but we had a lot of turnovers. So the more you can get the ball back to Tom, and understanding, hey, if we get him the ball. If we get the offense the ball, like that's our shot. Like that's what we have to do. And that was my last game as a football player. And, I retired at 32 years old. Could I have played maybe a couple more years? Sure. But at the end of the day, when you are able to really fulfill all your accomplishments, you make sure you set your family up, you do all the right decisions, and you make the right moves. Like, that's all you can ask for. I think Tom, he's done everything that he's done as far as his career. I'm thinking back to even the AFC Championship game, like to think about his career and the amount of years that he played and the amount of AFC Championship games he played in. It's just insane. I think they put up a stat on Mahomes' touchdown throws in AFC Championship games, and I think he played in like 5 or something. And you look, the next guy is Tom Brady with like 15. It's like, yeah. How is that possible? Like, of the 20 years he plays in 15 championship games, like, it's mind blowing. So it just goes to show you. I mean, when you have a guy like that, it always gives you a chance. And kind of like what you were talking about earlier, we're not going to see that again. People aren't going to want to play 20 plus years, especially with the money and these guys making $50 million a year, these quarterbacks. You're not going to want to see these guys play into their late 40s or, mid 40s. It's just not going to happen. No, so it's the last time we're ever going to see a player like Tom, ever.
Rob, thank you for joining us this morning with your thoughts on the retirement of Tom Brady.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a great one.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. 39. One more year.
Don't look a day over 35.
Don't look a day over 29.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Rob. Rob Ninkovich, ESPN.